All right, today we're back with one of these dry erase coatings. This one's going to be from Sherwin Williams. It's going to be going on that wall right there. So typically it covers 50 square feet. Um, I think they're generous there, so I always figure maybe 40. Really, it could use two coats. It does call for one coat. What we found is if the wall is not perfect, come in here and I'll show you. Little things on the wall like that were a really high stipple. That's when they roll the wall. I'm not sure you can see it. It's going to be harder to erase. So, typically they want to call for a level 5 finish, which is spackle, 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 spackle until the wall is the best that it could possibly be. This is our wall, so it's not really a major deal. We'll deal with it, and if it doesn't erase properly, we'll just do it again. So that's it. So I'll let you know how this one goes. We have used other ones. They've some performed well, others have not performed well. You get a lot of ghosting where when after you erase, you can still see the marker, and that's not good, obviously. And I have to use cleaners to get it off. We don't want to do that. But stay tuned. I'm going to mark this wall out and then go from there. Okay, so here's how I made these lines. Keep in mind, I've done a lot of lines in my lifetime, so this goes pretty quick. But the first thing you want to do is if you're going to go off of the ceiling grid, you have to make sure the ceiling grid is level. I made the mistake on a commercial job when I first started many years ago. I followed the ceiling grid all the way down, and by the time I got back to the beginning of the store, my lines didn't meet up. So obviously that's a problem. If that would happen, all you have to do is just start slowly tapering your line up. Nobody will ever see it. So what I do is just take my pencil, pretty simple. I make some check marks along the way, very light and faint, so you can't see them. Remember, this is our room, so we're going to use this a lot, and I didn't go crazy. You can get fancy and paint that inner part that I'm going to put dry erase on a different color. We've done that in the past. That looks cool. But anyway, I make my check marks all the way down, make sure they're level, and I just take my tape. We're using frog tape here. I'll be honest with you, we've tried a lot of different tapes, and you can see even the frog tape's pulling off over there. You're going to get some bleed through. So make sure that you have your touch-up paint. So I'm going to go back and make sure this tape is all on here, and then we'll get to putting the coating on. All right. All right, you can see I'm taking a little extra precaution because I've used this many times, and like I said, it does sag, and I've had it run down the walls. Now, if we had the touch-up paint, not a huge deal. However, I don't have the touch-up paint. We just moved in here. And I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to take any extra precautions I can, and I'll deal with it if it runs through. Probably one tip I could give you with the frog tape is to pre-wet it. Just take a really light, damp cloth and run it against the edges. It'll activate the blocking technology that they use, and hopefully that helps a little bit as well. So a little finicky product. I think it only has an hour once you mix it. So I'm going to measure this, knowing that we go 40 to 50 square feet. If we have any extra, I'll go prepare another wall so I don't waste anything. But this might be it right here. All right, let's remember here. You can see this product. It's an A and a B. Much like epoxy, you have the part A, and then you have your hardener, which is the part B. So we're going to mix those together. Once we mix them, we're on the clock. Now, I measured, we have about 48 square feet. So it's going to be pushing it because they only call for 50. And I know that it actually goes less than that. They also give you the roller and a small roller and a little pan. So professional painters out there, I typically would not roll this with that little roller, but that's what we have. And like I said, I'm in our new offices, so I don't have all my tools here. Um, and I don't want to go into my dirty bucket there. So I'm going to mix this up, put it on the wall, and then I believe we have 2 or 3 days afterwards. Here, I'll take you over to the sheet. You can take a screenshot of it. Here's some of it there. And here's the step-by-step instructions. So again, it is not being paid for this either. Sketch pad from Sherwin Williams. Let's see how it goes. We have used Benjamin Moore's, which was a pretty good product. I've used Idea Paint. There's a bunch of them out there if you Google. Pricey. They become pricey when you get up into professional whiteboard coatings. So keep that in mind. Don't be surprised when you see the pricing. But if you also price out a whiteboard this size or a glass this size, you have some options. Just compare the pricing and what you really want. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so we have this mixed up. You can see the wall. It's masked out. I've rubbed it just lightly with water around the tape. I wiped off the tape. We're just going to apply this product. It's pretty self-explanatory. You do want to roll with a foam roller. Sometimes I'll use a 3/8 inch roller. I prefer to use a 7 by 3/8 right here, but this is what we have. So let's just go about the project and see what we come up with. It's going to have to sit for a while. Remember, this is a clear coat, so you're not really going to see anything other than we're putting a clear coat on. But I just wanted to show you how, it's pretty simple. That's all, we're just rolling a clear coat on. We're not trying to go super heavy. Like I said, if you had enough and could come back on the recoat time and put another second coat on, I believe that's beneficial. For our experience with this product, again, it's very, very thin. So we've had some issues with erasing over the years. But that's really it. You just keep moving with your clear coat. Again, you're using a foam roller, so it's not going as far as you would think. And that's it. We just want to get down the wall. Make sure it's as even as you can make it, but you only have an hour. So obviously it's not going to take an hour to paint this wall. But if you get into other walls with the same coat that you mixed up, you want to move as Okay, so we have it coated. I have a little bit left. You could probably go do, you can use this on almost anything. You use it on a desktop, different surfaces if you wanted to. We've used it on doors before. I don't have much left. I could probably do a 4x4 square somewhere, 5x5 maybe. But we're gonna let this sit. Has to cure for a few days before anybody writes on it. Trust me, I'm very impatient, so I have written on them before the specified time. You cannot erase it if you do that. So just be patient. Typically, if I was on a job site, I would put signs all around this, making sure nobody writes on it, because if they did, they would be responsible for it and have to pay us to do it again. And again, it's not an inexpensive product. This one's not too bad in price. But if you get into some other whiteboard coatings, dry erase coatings, they are, in my opinion, super expensive, but they work well. They work well. Some of them have an odor to them. This has no odor at all. We'll check in a few days and let you know how it looks. Hey guys, one thing I didn't mention is I'm going to take this tape off now while it's wet. I did dry roll around the edges so it doesn't sag down. If I don't take this tape off today, it's going to be very difficult taking it off in a few days. Just take it off now. Like I said, You may get some sags down there. Typically you want to have the touch-up paint, so make sure you don't completely finish your walls beforehand. This is a flat finish on it. I'm sure I could find out what the color is if I had to. It's an off-white and it's flat, so I need to take the tape off today. I'd rather do that and then have to touch up than not take the tape off and have just a heck of a time getting it off in a few days. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, tape is off. Everything came off good. I didn't pull any of the other paint off. I don't see any bleed through yet or at all. So we just take a look at the wall. Like again, if this was somebody's house or office besides our own, we would want to get rid of the pencil lines. Couple different ways to do it is paint the wall a different color, come back and touch them up. So a lot of times we'll put a picture frame around them, a border. That looks good. Plus it also keeps you within the lines, although you can see this is very shiny and this is flat. When we do a different color also you can see that. So you can finish it off a bunch of different ways. I could have erased those pencil marks if I wanted to. Again, it's our office. Not a super huge deal. I could still probably go back and erase them once this is dry because I stayed on the inside of them. But just those little details, if you're doing somebody's job, they're probably going to care about them. So just keep it in mind. This is going to take, I think it's 2 or 3 days before you write on it. 7 days actually. So 7 days is when we're going to be able to use this. It's supposed to be able to wash it off with cotton or paper towels, baby wipes, or a damp cloth. We found that we need cleaner to take them off. I've used some Windex. Denatured alcohol sometimes will work. But let's see how it goes. Again, I'll check in about a week, do some writing on it, and then I'll talk to you about then.